Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist and welcome. Well, it's a week until Christmas. Well, yesterday was a week. No, today's a week. Yesterday was a week till Christmas Eve, right? This is Rogue, who's very naughty. Don't you? You're very naughty. Couple of stories about Rogue. Rogue is afraid of flies. I mean, terrified. And I believe that is because my dad would try desperately to kill them, and he had a fly swatter, so that anywhere time there was a fly around, there was a lot of banging and swishing with that to try to get the fly. And I think it's the loud sounds that she's afraid of, not specifically the fly. But when she sees a fly, she gets very scared. And for some reason, she thinks that the fly can't come in here. It's an open doorway. Or in my room, which is usually open. So she will go hide in one of those other rooms. And I just let her. Because when I say terrified, I mean she'll sit next to me and she is vibrating with fear. And I don't like her to feel like that, so she wants to go to another room to feel better. Okay. The other day, there was a fly in the house, but it entered as I was entering, and my sister and I had been out somewhere doing something, I don't know what, and we stopped on the way home to get Dutch Brothers drinks. It's like across the street from us, so if the line isn't long, we ditch in there to get it. And whatever I had gotten, I had already, I guess we got it on the way out, because I had already finished it. And there was a lot of ice still in the cup. So I poured a different drink over it. I didn't want to waste the ice. So the drink that I poured over it, thank God, was not Diet Coke or anything like I normally drink. It was clear. Well, not clear, but clearer. And so I was drinking my drink. Now, the Dutch Brothers coffee is got one of those sippy tops, if it so you can put a straw in it, but it's a wide top, like about that, so that you can sip it instead if you want to. And so my drink was there on the table because I was stitching, and the dog was in my room, terrified. And periodically I would try to kill the fly if I saw it or whatever, but they don't live long, they die. So they're annoying, but they don't live long. So I went to go get a drink, and I saw something in the drink. Fortunately, I only had about that much drink left because it's one of my favorite drinks. So I'm like, what is that? And I tried to think what I ordered from Dutch Brothers, because Starbucks, they put things in it, but Dutch Brothers usually doesn't. If they put something, it's like on top, and it rarely sits at the bottom of the cup or whatever. I'm like, what is that? So close examination, it was the fly. I almost drank it. If I had had a darker drink or a closed cup where I couldn't see in it, I'd have sucked that thing on down. But then she was willing to come out of the bedroom and stay with me for a while until another fly came in the house. It is that time of year where we get a lot of flies. So she's still hiding in my room or in the room I'm in, so she's willing to be with me right now, when she heard me come in this room, she's like, oh, yay, she's not going to be over there where the fly is. The fly can be in here if he wants to. And then, second story about my dog. My sisters and I were filming our video on, we film on Saturday and it airs on Sunday. And I was stitching on my temperature sal because I forgot to do it on Friday. And I must have knocked one of the threads off. Well, of course, I know I knocked one of the threads off. And I kept hearing the dog I thought she had something in her mouth, so I looked, and she had the paper from the DMC, and I saw the color, and I was like, oh no! And so we stopped what we were doing, and I'm looking around. I'm just glad she didn't swallow any of it, because this isn't torn up, and the piece that had already been cut off, I found that. So I gotta be more careful, because she is a naughty dog. Okay, she's a dog. Dogs do things like that. My son is like, why does she do? I'm like, because she's a dog. Okay, so this is not a channel about dogs. I'm here today to talk to you about my cross stitch. Now, I do other things, sewing, and I haven't done it in a while, but quilting, and I always feel like there's just not enough time in the day or in the week. We got our Christmas tree this weekend. I still haven't finished decorating it. Mostly because I have to take it in spurts, not stand so long and all that. But I told my son, it's so close to Christmas, maybe I won't get everything out. And he goes, well, that's up to you, but I really want you to. So I'm going to spend a lot of today doing that, I think. Anyway, moving on. I have a finish. This is, make sure I'm holding it right side up, Peace on Earth. And I got that from the Christmas Ornaments magazine. And I have 2 other ornaments I'm working on, and I seriously doubt that I'll get them done and FFO'd before Sunday. So, especially since there's Sunday morning church and Sunday evening church, and then we're going to go have Christmas. So, this is Peace on Earth by Evdokia Nikolaev of Punochka. I don't know. It's in the show notes. Anyway, I'm glad I switched fabric, or I'd still be working on it. So now I just have to FFO that, and it is already late to be in the mail. And then I was already working on this one, which is Candy Swirls. And here's a picture of it right here. And I am looking for who the designer is, because I didn't bring the thing over here with me. Julie DeBortoli, I think. I would probably be done with this if it wasn't satin floss, honestly. That floss is annoying to work with. Okay. So that's where I am. I finished one, I started on another one, and I have enough time to maybe finish this one. If I spend more time working on it. I try to only stitch in the afternoons to budget my time better. But yeah. And then because I finished that one, I started another one, which is who knows where, because I don't have it. I bent back to that page because I don't really do it that often. I mean, I just started it. And this one, I am 99.9% sure I'm not going to finish, so I probably need to go spend money on something. I like to make my gifts, if at all possible. I don't like to go buy something for 2 reasons. I can't afford it, and I just don't want to. It is called, you know, I showed you a picture here, I hope. Holy Family Folk Art. Original artwork by Jane Zuniga of January Jane Shop, adapted for cross stitch. And I don't have much of a start because I just started it not too long ago. So basically, that's above their head. And I really like this, but I have serious doubts that I'll be able to finish it. So I might have to choose something else. And then my last current WIP that I worked on this week is Sapphire Mountain 2023 temperature cell. I probably didn't say it right. Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts 2023 temperature cell. And I will tell you this before, I put this bottom part on my WIPGO because I'm not going to finish that this year, and I want to make sure and finish it. So I really like it. I love the way it looks, and I'm hoping to eventually frame it. I don't frame most of my stuff, but this one I think needs a frame. And there's our temperatures. Now, the thread color that my dog tried to eat is this one. And it was cooler, about the same temperature all week, like upper 60s, lower 70s. And then it was 79, and it was hot. It's really hard to get in a jolly mood when it's doesn't feel like Christmas outside. And I'm used to the weather here and it not feeling very much like Christmas, like it, you know, snow and all that other stuff that you see on TV for Christmas. It's not like that here. But usually it's cooler. This is a very warm December. So, what you need? What's going on? Huh? You okay? Did it come in here? Did it scare you? Are you scared? Don't be scared. Okay, so I saw Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching that they didn't do a WIP parade, but they did a WIPGO parade, and I really liked that idea. So I'm gonna copy them and do that. Yep, the fly came in here. Now she's disillusioned and sad. Okay, so she may run out of here and go hide in the bedroom. All right, we'll see you later. Oh, you decided to come up here? Okay, come on. Make up your mind. All right, so number 1 on my WIPGO for next year is Holly Jolly Christmas. And I have just finished, I need to finish this one. I never FFO'd the Lots of Jolly one. And here it is, Christmas. I'm not going to try to do it now. I'm too busy doing other things. But this is where I am. So maybe a third of the way done. Probably not. Probably less than a third. So that is my number one. And my number two, come on. My number two is, that's by Hands-On Design, sorry. And I'm doing that on 14 count something, or 16 count. I don't remember. It's the same as the berries, so it has to be 16 count or 18 count, and I suspect it's 18 count. Vintage or something. She finally gave up and decided to go to the bedroom. Okay, so my number two is Phoenix Biscornu, which I started for cross stitch camp in in August. And this is as far as I've gotten. So I went ahead and did some of the back stitching on this one, but after I finish this fourth one, I'm going to have to do back stitching all over the place on this one. And then there's a back side. You can see part of it there, but it's like 4 corners of that. And then this is on 14 count opal by DMC. This and this are not the same fabric, but they sure look alike, don't they? I seem to really gravitate toward that. I don't know. Anyway, this is by Tiny Modernist, and that is my number two. And number three is And to All a Good Night. I didn't get very far this year because I was working on ornaments. But this is where I am currently. A little bit under halfway. The first year I worked on it, I got most of the halfway. And so this year, it was just a little bit. So many people are able to finish this so quickly. I'm like, how can you do it? I don't know. Well, they probably don't make as many mistakes as I do. Anyway, this is by Stitching with the Housewives. They came out with it a year ago. And I don't know if you can see it, but I am putting a sparkly thread. You can kind of see it there and here on anything that's snow. So on the blue snow flakes, I guess, for lack of a better word, I put a sparkly blue thread, and on the white ones I put a sparkly white thread. And that makes it take more time, but that's not why I haven't finished it. Okay, and then my number 4 is, it says Art Deco Summer, but actually, and I put them all here, I think I'm going to go by what time of the year it's called. I started on Art Deco Spring, which is this one. And I haven't finished this one. So if it's called this spring, I'll continue with this one. And this is how far I've gotten. This is summer. Oh, sorry. This is spring. Okay, so this one is spring. And this is how far I've gotten on that. So I need to finish this row around. This one. And then all these border things. I'm hoping the border things don't take as long as they look. I have other patterns by them that have those borders and they are more intricate than they look. But I started on the summer one, which is the first one I showed you, last year. And it does say Art Deco Summer. But I haven't gotten as far on this one. I'm trying to see. I think it goes this way. And these are on 28 count that I dyed myself. If it gets cold in the fall, I'll start this one. On this fabric. It kind of looks the same, but it's not. Oops. And I haven't dyed a fabric for the winter one because I'm trying to decide what I want, and I figure it doesn't matter. But if it gets cold in the winter, maybe I'll start this one. I love this. So my least favorite one is the fall. But I figured I couldn't just buy 3 of them. So that is my number 4. And the one I do will depend on what time of year it is called. Come here, baby. Come on. It's okay. It's okay. You're all right. Come on. Good girl. Oh, okay. So the number 5 is DMC Turtle. And I cannot show you a picture because the only picture is the actual pattern. But that's how far I've gotten. So it's the flippers, it's a sea turtle, and the rest of it is head. And I made some kind of counting error somewhere in here, but since I'm stitching it with can you see the sparkle in there? Since I'm stitching it with that, I don't think I want to try to take it out and redo it. So I'm going to have to make a choice when it comes up. I didn't have it on this year's WIPGO, and I have been working on it for a while, but I haven't actually picked it up in all of last year, I don't think. Maybe in January. So then number 6 is Cute Boots by Joe Gattenby for X's and O's. And I have the duck almost finished. Okay, not almost finished, but a good portion of the duck finished. I just need his shoes and the puddle he's in. And then I can decide if I want to do the words, but I like the words, so I don't know. But part of me wants to just get the duck finished. And if I do the words, I might have to like frame it. But I don't know. Those are decisions for another day. After the duck is done. She's still very agitated. She wants very badly to be here with me, but she's afraid. And the number 7 is Plant Pots by Darling and Whimsy, and it was their pattern for the Meow the Merrier. I had intended to finish this by October, and I didn't. This is as far as I've gotten. So the black cat just has a few more rows, and of course putting the face on, and the cactus, which is less stitching than that cactus, but, and then the brown cat. And this is 14 count something. It feels kind of like burlap, but I got it at Hobby Lobby. I don't know what it is. I don't remember, and I don't have the thing from the fabric. I know a lot of people write on there what it is, but I don't do that. So, seeing if I could remember what it's called. I can't. And then the next one is Snowflake Ornaments. And I am almost finished with this one, so I think I'll do this one next. Little penguin. And as I showed you a week ago, I think it was, this is where I am on this one. And I may or may not finish this to use as an ornament for this Christmas. We'll see. And that is my number 8. Now this one, I don't know that I've ever shown you, and if I did, it was a long time ago. This is the Stormtrooper. It's a Disney kit, and it just says Disney, so it doesn't say if it was designed by anybody or whatever. It probably does, but I can't read it. And I originally bought this to stitch it for my son, and I've had it in my possession forever. So this is where I am. And I don't enjoy working on this because of the fabric. And that is probably why I have not worked on this with any kind of diligence. My son really likes Star Wars. So that's my number 9. Number 10 is Summer Baskets Hands-On Design. And I completed this for last year's WIPGO. And I started on this one. And for some reason, I started it super close to the other one. So the other one has a very close edge here, and this one has a very close edge there. And what I may do is just stitch on any kind of fabric so that I can fold it over easier, because that does not leave a lot of room, especially if it frays at all. Anyway, this is how far I am on this. It's not particularly difficult. I just didn't work on it very much. And I really like these, and I bought the autumn one as well, but I didn't buy the other two, mostly because they weren't available when I was buying these. And then I said, I will not buy the other two until I finish this one at least. So, oh goodness. I'm having a crapalanche here. All right, and then my number 10 is Robin. No, that was number 10. My number 11 is Rabbits, Carrots, and Eggs. And I had a paper for it. It wasn't in the bag. So I'll try to get a digital image here for you. I've changed the colors quite a bit, and this is where I am. That white barely shows up. Honestly, I really don't remember the pattern other than I changed the colors. I mean, how many eggs across and how many of these. And there's bunnies leaning on these eggs down here. And I think a row of eggs. I don't know. I'll try to look it up and have it here before, you've seen all this. So I just remember I was changing the colors of the eggs because they were very, very, very light in color and they weren't showing up. And to me, Easter eggs are vibrant and bright. So I changed the colors. And I wasn't really keeping track of what the colors were that I was putting in there. I was just choosing a color that I liked better that was along the same lines of the one that I was replacing. And so, but I think the eggs on that top portion were all white. And I just kind of chose different bright colors so that they would look to me more like Easter eggs. So, and then my number 12 is When Witches Go Riding. This is by Tiny Modernist. This was a sal that started. It was in the summer. Not this past summer, so it had to have been summer before that. This is where I am. There's this much more to go. Because I am just barely here. Kind of there. Not even completely there. Yeah, so this thing goes all the way down to the bottom. So I thought this was dark enough. I dyed this myself. This is 14 count Ada, which I dyed myself. And then did a little bit of tea dyeing over, and the white did not show up the way I wanted, so I just backstitched it. And on the eyeballs, I changed the coloring. They were supposed to be something else. And then I backstitched red, bloody eyeballs. So, sorry. So that is my number 12. Number 13 is to finish my temperature chart. I didn't give it days. I gave it finish. Oh, sorry. Fussling. I'm used to working on that chart every Friday. And I put it on the middle square because for a lot of people that's a free square. But when she selects that, she also selects 2 others. So I thought if I put that on the middle one and keep working on it a little bit every Friday, then if and when it gets called, finishing it will be easier, provided it doesn't get called in January or February. So anyway, that's what goes there. And then my number 14 is Winter Reindeer, Dirty Annie's. The white doesn't show up real good here. I have a real problem picking fabrics that white shows up on. Oh, it shows through there fine, but it shows up good enough for me. So I'm about halfway through of the first reindeer. barely, I don't have really anything on the second reindeer. No. This little thingy is the top of this tree. So, even on the pattern, you can barely see the snowflakes. And this has buttons sewn, 5 buttons, but it didn't come with buttons. It was just the pattern. So, so if I decide to put buttons on there, I may choose colored buttons, because my tree does not have only white lights. It has colored lights. And then my number 15 is Robin. This is by Marina Bravko, Cute Patterns by Maria. I started this for another cross-stitch camp thing this past summer, for stitching a bird, pattern with a bird. And I already had purchased this, and I just chose this one, even though I knew there was no way I could get it done in a month. But that's where I am. The scarf and hat are like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different colors of red. So, let's see. 4. They even have white that I haven't put it up here. And she has beautiful patterns, but the color changes are frequent, and that's how she gives it such dimension. Not to mention the fact that I'm going to have to go through and backstitch everything. It's a beautiful pattern. I just know it's going to take me forever to do it. And then number 16. Sorry, I forgot where I was. I have a printout of this too. I don't know where it is because it wasn't in the bag. Wizard Snowman by Cross Stitching for Fun, and this is Mary Ravenclaw. I have finished. Let's see if I can put it up where the light isn't behind it. And this is on a 14 count sparkly thread. I have finished Mary Gryffindor and Mary Slytherin, so I'm pretty close to being done with Mary Ravenclaw, and then it'll just be Hufflepuff. This has quite a bit of Kreinik in it, which is probably why it's taking me some time. I don't mind the Kreinik in that it's beautiful to look at afterward, but working with it is challenging. Yeah, so it was a free pattern on Cross Stitching for Fun's website, if you're Facebook page, if you're a member of their stuff. Okay, so number 17. Okay, my number 17 is Joyful Snowman by Barb Tourliot. I don't know. It's French. It was a dimensions kit, and the fabric that came in it was white, and for some reason I dyed it brown. And the white is always surrounded by something else, except on the trees. So I think it'll be fine. I bought it 2 years ago, and it was in my stitching bag that I took with me to wait. And I don't do that very often anymore. My sister has less appointments, so I'm waiting less often. So And then when I have had to go take her somewhere, I'm taking something that I'm currently stitching on. So that's kind of what happened with the Stormtrooper too. He was in that same bag. So I put it on WIPGO, and hopefully I will get a little bit more progress on it. As we know, I like snowmen. And so I'm looking forward to that. My number 18 is Silent Night, Stitching with the Housewives. And this is where I am. And I still haven't decided for sure one way or the other. Now the tree has a stem. These trees have stems that I haven't put in. But I haven't decided one way or the other if I want to include the village down there. I might want to, because then otherwise Santa Claus doesn't make sense. But Silent Night is more like of a it's not so much a Santa Claus thing. So I haven't decided. I'm not going to worry about it yet. So that is where I am. I haven't even started on the words, and the words go lower than the words go lower than those snowflakes. And so if I didn't, I'd have to think of more snowflakes to put in here. And what I might do is just delete Santa Claus and the chicken. And just fill in with something here, because I do like I don't mind Santa Claus being in the other one, because it's into All a Good Night, and that's from that story, and it's a Santa Claus story. But Silent Night is about the birth of Christ, not about Santa Claus. So I kind of wish it wasn't there, you know? So anyway, that is my number 18. And I have threads that have coming off of everything. So okay, so my number 19 is, this is the thread, one of the threads. It's The Chronicles of Narnia, Stitching Book Club. This was a stitch and read along, and this is the called for fabric. Actually, it's the same fabric that those snowmen are on. It's a DMC fabric that I got at Hobby. And I love the way it looks, but this is like the first, up to here is like the first, it was a stitch along, and it had 3 parts. So that's like the first part. And then I don't know, shiny things, you know, and I started thinking about other things, and I didn't work on it. Okay, so 20 is Hands-on Design. I Hear the Bells. And I'm doing I'll have to figure out what I'm doing. It's either this one or this one. And I'm looking at it going, what is that? Oh, it's this one. Because on this one the words are stacked. And my words are not stacked. So yeah. And I'm doing this on, I think this is 32 count ice. Morano Carré, I think. It was fabric I had in my stash, so I don't know. That's where I am. It's funny, I was like, which one was I doing? There's quite a bit of bells on it, so I may be at the end of the word the, but I still have to stitch bells, and then the bottom row, and then I have all of these ornaments over here. And it was the pattern came with this fabric. I haven't bought these yet. If and when I finish it, I'll get those. Maybe. So that is my number 20. 21 is Halloween Gnomes by Ursula Michaels for Ursula Michael for Imaginating. I've had this for a very long time. This is 18 count that I dyed myself, and I'm not even done with 2 of them yet. Part of it is that I wish I had something besides 18 count, like, I don't know, 28 count or something like that, because it has a lot of fractional stitches in it. So, I'm almost done with this gnome. And then, since he was the middle gnome, there's 2 over here and 1 more here. And then all the words on the bottom. I may delete the words. Not because I dislike the words, but because by the time I finish this thing, I will be so tired of working on it. They're very, very cute. I really like these. But like I said, the fractional stitches are really getting me. The beards are very intricate, but the rest of it's kind of easier. I made a mistake on the gloves, and here I did the wrong color on one of these, and then I had to find another color to use. But they look fine. So that is my number 21. Number 22 is Art Deco Cat. That's what I call it. The actual name is Black Cat, but I have a DMC pattern called Black Cat, which is not on my WIPGO, but that's why it's called Art Deco Cat. It's not the real name. And this is by Cross Stitching for Fun. You can find them on Facebook. They don't have a Etsy shop anymore, but they're very, very sweet. And I bought this, and they mirrored it for me so that I could do this side. My sister has two orange cats. My brain isn't working. Tabby cats? Is that what they're called? The ones with the stripes everywhere. And one is marginally lighter than the other one. So that was why one is darker. And then number 23 is, no, this way. Silver Creek Samplers, Winterful Friends. And this is where I am. In person, I don't have any trouble seeing the white, really. But kind of isn't showing up here. Let's see. There, you see it? You can see it there. I'm I think I'm done with the snowman, and I need to do a few more snowflakes and the words, the fence and the tree. Doesn't sound like a lot, but for some reason I quit working on it. I don't know why. I like it. It's a snowman. Then 24 is Christmas Lantern by Twin Peak Primitives. And this is where I am. Now you see how the white shows up here? This is the same fabric that I tried to do the other one on and the white wouldn't show up. I'm talking about like right here. So this is where I am. And this is another one that I will probably frame if and when I finish it. I've been working on it a while, so who knows. And then the last one is Underwater World. This is Stitchy Princess. Oh. Same designer as Rabbits, Carrots, and Eggs. And I have changed the colors quite a bit. I kept trying to find a fabric that these light colors would work on that I liked. The colors are very, very, very pale, even more pale than they look in the picture. And I finally said, I'll just change the colors because I'm wasting. I would stitch it on this one, I'd stitch it on that one and go, yeah. I had a dark teal that I thought would work, but it clashed with the color that was called for. It clashed with that for doing stuff like this. I just didn't like the way it looked, and so I said, fine, whatever, I'll stitch it on something else and change the color. So that is all. And we have been here almost an hour, which is way longer than my videos normally are. I will not film until Tuesday. And so I will see you after Christmas. I hope you guys have a great holiday, a safe holiday, and I'll see you in just over a week. Bye.